at me, fella. Look here.
Stand by.
One for C-Lab, two for Troy Eagle, three for Wolverine to round out the trio. In this episode, everybody dies.
Broadcasting live from inside the Power Band.
Can you do a Connery version?
This is the Blah.
Would that be good?
I will after. Can I do this normal one
No.
and then I'll do a Connery one?
Broadcasting live
Yes.
from inside the Power Band.
Yes.
Keep going.
This is Duck Motherfucking Mouth. Sean Connery. And some bitches are going to get a physical correction tonight.
Nice.
I love it.
There you have it. Mr. Connery joining us this week. Folks, welcome to the show. This week we're talking about the 1981.
Should be much more well-known movie.
This should be a classic because I loved this movie. And that would be Outland, starring Sean Connery, the aforementioned Mr. Connery, who's joining us in the studio tonight, and John Ratzenberger's mom from Cheers, and the guy that played the captain of the Excelsior in Star Trek 3, the Star Trek movie that nobody watched. And that's it. Let's get to it. Hey.
And fucking Detective Freeman from The Wire, dude.
What?
Dude, yeah. I was like, wait, what? The dude at the end, the double-cross new sergeant guy that he has a fight with outside is Freeman from the fucking Wire.
Literally?
Ballard?
Literally, actually. Ballard, yeah.
Ballard? Yeah.
I was like, what?
Whoa.
And I went back and looked at it, and like that scene where he was like,
Nice.
who was going to help? And he's like, we all got a family. It was like, holy shit, it's him as like a 10-year-old boy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. We also got a Jerry Goldsmith score, which is excellent because I love Jerry Goldsmith. He scored many of the beloved films of our youth.
Of Yonder.
Yeah. Also, Steven Berkoff's in it, the guy that plays like, an evil Russian in like 10 movies in the 80s, including Red Dawn and Rambo 1, 2, and 3.
Sure.
I think that's
a good one. Have either of you seen this before?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Couple times.
Whoa.
I didn't even know this existed, and Benny, you chucked it out there, and like this was, I really enjoyed this movie. It was a really fucking good movie. Like it kind of is oft compared, it seems, to Alien because they literally took some of the Alien stuff out of the skip bin and turned it into some of the models and sets and stuff. So like I get it, but it doesn't quite have the same gravity, no pun intended, as an Alien. But fuck me, it was like really enjoyed it.
It was great. Many
folks like to speculate that this is within, unofficially within the Alien universe.
I like that,
including the Wolverine, because I was saying that from like minute 5.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I mean, visually,
the
way everything looks, the way the computers work, like all that, the jumpsuits, the fucking hats, the weird company logos and all that stuff is like
the junky, like mildewy look to everything, dude.
Yeah, yes. I don't. There's any official,
There's
yes,
not.
This is, I don't think it is, but
it's like an adopted brother or something.
I don't think it is, but I think it is.
Yeah.
This is what I got to when I was watching it today. I was like, if Ripley or Hicks was like, you know what, fuck this, I'm going home, and they bolted, and they're like, I'm gonna stop off on this space station on the way home and see what's up. You could place one of those characters in there, and it would be like, okay, cool.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
go to the weird strip bar.
Yeah.
That place was great.
Saloon
with the cool circular laser effects with the smoke. Yeah.
Yes.
How can we make
lasers.
a futuristic strip club? It's like, if we strap two naked people together like they're riding a horsey.
Yeah, totally.
I would love that so much.
Benny, you want to give your little high level pedigree, or are you done with that?
Yeah.
Nah.
Sure. So I think I saw this like way back in the video VHS rental days.
Yo,
it's got a good cover.
I think my old man was like trying to like build a bridge, because this is kind of a space western.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
okay.
like, let's rent this like sci-fi fucking, cowboy movie with Sean Connery.
There you go.
And I don't know if I really appreciated it as much as I should have at the time.
Yeah,
but,
he probably wanted a lightsaber in there.
I've seen it. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a little slow for a kid, I think,
Yeah, it's not for a kid.
It's a slow build, so it's not. Yeah, I don't think I was picking up what the movie was trying to put down the first time I watched it. But over the years, I've watched it a few times, and I've come to appreciate it. Yeah,
Very
it's good.
Very groovy.
There's not much to it, It's
No, it's simple.
pretty fucking simple. Like, stubborn Marshall comes into town and isn't going to leave without getting his man, kind of a thing. Even though, like, he doesn't really get his spoiler, he doesn't really even get his man in this. He just kind of, I don't know, interrupts shit for a minute.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still fun. It's still a fun, slow burn, with great alien-esque, sci-fi sets and tech. And for some reason, everybody has a sawed-off shotgun, which is
why not
interesting.
Always cool, as it was in the 80s. Sawed off is
like that.
better than a non-sawed off.
Well, it's like close range. I guess like maybe like in a it's not a space station, I guess. It's like a planet station, like a planet colony. But I guess a sawed off shotgun like would have less chance of blowing through a wall. Like
you probably would, yeah. It would have been a shot instead of a slug. So yeah, that makes sense.
They're really only effective at close range.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
like, which was I don't mean to go on and on here, but
No,
the fact that like the two dudes that come in to like take down Sean Connery at the end both have fucking scopes.
I love that, dude. Immediately made me think of you and our scope obsession.
And they kept showing like they kept doing like a shot like through the scope.
Yeah.
And then they had panned to the guy holding the gun, and he was like holding it like at waist, like he was like shooting from the hip. So it's
totally.
like I don't know, it's like the scope cam. Like nobody's looking through the scope, but the scope.
But
cam
we
says
are.
This.
The scope cam was sick.
Yeah,
dude. Those guns belong with the freaking tiger with the scope on his back.
Dude. Like I was gonna
bullshit
say,
guns we came up with.
It's in that same tier, but you're never gonna beat the tiger. That is the funniest shit.
You can never beat the tiger, dude.
I don't know, man. Putting a long distance scope on something that has an effective range of about 8 feet is pretty
good.
It's fucking great, dude. It's like that giant scope on that Uzi in Escape from New York.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, right. I mean, Uzi would be, if it had a stock,
it's like okay, yeah, I could kind of
actually
see
be
it.
like might actually have a point, but a sawed-off shotgun with a fucking long-range scope.
It wasn't even an Uzi either. It was a freaking Mac 10 with a massive silencer or whatever.
It was a Mac 10 with a massive silencer with a scope on the silencer.
It's the best.
We're already nerding out so hard.
When we were talking about the Beastmaster Tiger scope, was it a scope that was to scale with the Tiger? Was it a really small funny scope, or was it a really big scope?
No, it was a to scale with the Tiger.
And when it's to scale with the Tiger, is the scope on the back of the Tiger or is it on the head of the Tiger? I would
say
it's
on the back with some sort of harness.
The little
harness situation.
Photoshop thing that I made was literally like a little scope on its head between its ears.
Which I like that idea
works too.
Man.
I mean, shit. That way you could ride the Tiger and aim it at the same time.
Oh yeah,
right,
exactly. Dude. For the scope in this, I cracked the fuck up.
The fucking
man.
Tiger.
I love it. Paint the motherfucker and then stick a scope on it. I laugh so hard when those dudes not only did they scope up their stupid weapons, but they like came off the ship and waited till everyone walked and then just assembled their weaponry in the fucking gangway.
They were like,
okay.
Wait, let's wait until we find a camera and then we'll construct our weapons.
Let's not go to the massive room full of people and do it on the sly.
Oh my God. All right. So
what's
my
yours,
belated high level is this.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
No. It's fine. There's no real format here. I vaguely remember this from the 80s. And by vaguely remember, I know Benny knows what I'm talking about. I saw the box in the video store.
Yeah.
And that was it. I never saw it. So when you suggested it, I was like, okay, I mean, this could be good, it could be bad. You know, Sean Connery seemed to like kind of either get all these weird sci-fi movies dumped in his lap, or he was like, I need to start doing science fiction. Everybody's doing it. You know, like, I don't know what it was, but he was doing it. And it was like, you know, Zardoz was like conceptually cool, but it's also like kind of terrible at the same time. Like, it's a weird situation. And it's like,
listen, Peter,
you know, this could have been, I was like, is this going to be just a total piece of crap or what? I have no idea.
I thought it was going to be.
And I absolutely, I loved it, man. I thought it was fantastic. Immediately, I was like, dude, where's Hicks? If they roll by, I'll be like, okay, cool. You know, if they roll up into the bar and then him and Hudson come get a drink from Aliens, I was like, they fit right in, man. The world building in both is like, you know, so similar. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
But like everything's done well in this movie, and it was an absolute joy to watch. I'll just kind of leave it there for now and get into it now that we're done with
good segue,
the high level section. That's the worst segue.
Smooth.
Yeah, that's me. Like hot butter on a warm crumpet.
I think that the thing that blew me away here, as Benny said, there's kind of not a lot going on, but what is going on is the fucking effort they went into with these sets and miniatures and design, dude. Like, holy motherfucking God.
Yeah. And it really shows.
I just remember being early on, maybe the first 20 minutes of the film, like, how the fuck did they justify spending the money on this? This is amazing. Like, it was seriously, like, so good.
It was impressive, man. It was like impressive, like Blade Runner impressive, you know, where they were doing like paintings on glass, you know, to do the backgrounds of the city for like all these shots, you know, like the shots on the balcony.
Like a Sid Mead level.
Oh my God.
You know,
right?
Art direction. And I think maybe the thing that impressed me, maybe not the most, but one of the things is like the living quarters, gangway, staircases stacked on top of staircase kind of stuff. Like normally you see the classic, let's go to a random ass iron foundry and run around in it. And that's the easy way to do it. And this was like, they had to make all of this. And it was just so impressive.
Or they'll do the stairway in the apartment, somebody's apartment building. Exactly. Like, nobody will ever know. It's like, no, everybody does know.
Put some dumb shit on the walls and make it seem futuristic.
Sure.
But it was really, really fucking impressive. Like, honestly, even if the plot was ridiculous, I would have just been like there for the practical stuff they did, man. It's fucking cool.
I think that's how good the world building is here. I think it's great. You know, like, obviously everybody kind of knows this movie, and for the folks at home that don't know, you know, this movie is kind of like a space version of High Noon, you know, which is a Western that I've never seen. But, you know, the plot is super simplistic, as Ben said. You know, new sheriff comes to town, he's got to get his guy. Like, that's it. It's super simple. It doesn't need to be anything more than that. But, I mean, quite honestly, man, everything else about the movie is fantastic. It's like the action's great. The dialogue's great. They ratchet up the tension at the end. Like the end, like, you know, sort of creep around, you know, hunt for him was fantastic, man. And like the doctor went from being, hang on, I had a name for her. The hilariously cantankerous Dr. Lazarus all of a sudden comes to life at the end, and she's awesome, man. And it's like great and tension filled and all that kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, God, dude, right?
It's fun. It's very impressive.
All sandwiched between racquetball.
Right? The racquetball.
Yeah. Ben, come on, Ben. Mr. Connery, it's space racquetball, bro.
Oh, excuse me. Say space racquetball.
Space racquetball.
You bring space racquetball would be pretty fun.
Mr. Wolverine.
It would be. And he could take his space duffel bags with his gear to space racquetball.
Dude, I feel like his space sweatsuit was up there as one of the better additions to the grimy Nerf herder costume shit that these guys were doing.
You talking about the space suit itself or his like uniform?
I'm talking about like So it's got like
the
cool
space, the
gray sweats,
jogging pants and
with like
sweatshirt,
Can-Am
with, like,
on it or
logo on the
whatever. You know?
sweatshirt. Yeah.
I actually like.
You mean with the Imperial logo on the sweatshirt? Yeah.
Maybe just to like, I don't know, dive down this little cul-de-sac. Like, I really like the rainbow Can-Am logo.
I love that, dude.
I just love this style, dude. I love the
This
Aliens-esque style, and
yeah,
there is just nothing I don't.
Who knew that a random Canadian obscure dirt bike motorcycle company was going to end up building, I don't know, mining space stations,
ships to the moon? Totally, dude. I love it.
Was it actually Can-Am?
I don't know.
I don't know if it was the same company, like, you know, lore wise, but I mean,
no, I don't think it.
Can-Am is like a major company, man. I did some work for them a couple of years ago. They're a big brand. They own a lot of shit.
I'm looking at
I think they're owned by Polaris now, but
well, they're actually it's actually BRP Brands owns all of that stuff. So yeah, you're right.
Con Amalgamate, Con-Am.
Oh, it's Con-Am, not Can-Am?
I think I was doing Pan American Pan Am with. This is my version of the Chuck Connors, is what it is.
Con-Am would make more sense.
Yeah. So you let Ben and I go through an entire thought
I
exercise
just looked it up when
BRP brands
was asking,
and
because it didn't sound right.
I mean, everybody's really interested in hearing Kev, you and I talk about
Canadian motorcycles.
Some subsidiaries of Bombardier and basically Canadian motorsports in general. So let's just go for it. I mean, let's just hijack the podcast.
Why not, dude? I mean, I'm sure. I'm actually. You know what? I knowing our listeners, they probably are into it, dude. They probably are like, oh wow, I didn't know that. That's so cool. I wouldn't be surprised to see a comment that was like, oh hey, can you guys expound on BRP brands some more?
I don't know. There's something about Con-Am where like it's like the Adam Savage. Like Adam Savage, as I'm sure you guys know, is obsessed with the Weyland-Yutani kind of stuff and the aliens costuming, and he actually wears replicas of aliens ship clothing around like day to day.
Oh my god, dude, that is so nerdy. Holy
I love
shit.
it. Yeah, and he looks cool in it too. Like he had some originals. And he made some patterns and had some like master seamstress put them together.
What?
And like he wears them around. Like there's a couple of videos about it. I'll send it.
Dude, let's just start a line of like clothing from these two movies, like these alien movies in this movie. That's what we need to do.
We should do it. You know, he had, I think it was like he had access to one of the Nostromo crew jackets at some stage, and he used that, as he often does, to like revise the one that he made for himself. And so he then took all the patterns that he put together for how to create these crew jackets and crew shirts, and had like a really great costume creator make them. And he had a video about it maybe like a year ago where he was like unboxing his crew jumpsuit and was like, I'm gonna fucking wear this everywhere. I was like, okay,
that's called a nerd blossom, dude.
Yeah,
that is nerding out and spazzing out and flying around in all directions, freaking out. Yes,
and there's a lot of that in that camp for sure.
Totally.
For sure.
And I feel like I don't know, like I kind of want like a Con-Am fucking jacket or jumpsuit, just so that when someone sees it, the one guy would be like, what? You know, like,
dude.
Chad goes to his first con in Outland cosplay.
Exactly. And everyone's like, okay, man, whatever. There's all these like fucking stormtroopers.
Got your little fake sawed off fucking 12 gauge shotgun.
Dude, where did you get that hat?
That hat's sick.
That is official as worn by Roger Mosley.
Get the fuck
Theodore
out of here.
Calvin TC fucking Magnum PI.
What
hat
worn by him? Literally that hat?
No, not literally worn by him, but it's the same.
Like a replica.
It's like it's like a screen accurate.
Where did you get it? Never mind.
Well,
you're not going to tell me.
No, I'll tell you.
You're a true nerd. You wouldn't say.
I have my sources.
From,
I get your toe,
awesome. Dude. There's I'm presuming a guy. It might be a woman, but just because it's a Magnum PI store, I'm presuming it's a guy.
Sure.
Has like an Etsy store with a bunch of like, lore, like accurate kind of like Magnum PI shit, like all the hats,
nice
from that one to like the Da Nang like Vietnam hat to like the Detroit Tigers hat in all varieties. He's got like Coop's beer fucking coasters and like
what the
it was super cool. When it came with like like a trading card like
what
like a vintage like fucking Magnum PI trading card.
Sick.
And all these like stickers and like cool shit. Like, yeah, it was very cool.
Dude, speaking of trading cards, I just found my Rolling Stallone's stickers.
Dude.
And trading cards of
You want to talk about
members.
Rolling Stallone stickers? I came out of the fucking office the other day and was like, what is that? And Hannah had found the Rolling Stallone stickers and stuck them all over random ass shit around the house. And I was like, dude, what are you doing, man?
No.
I kind of like that she did that because I've got, just like fucking Nick Marv on the side of like a Polly Pocket unicorn, like I'm kind of into it, but I love it.
I guess my point in sending that sticker was that there's probably somebody that makes
Nostromo shit. Yeah, I'm saying.
No, I mean, I had a Nostromo hat for sure. So that definitely exists. But like, there's probably somebody that makes these like Outland specific.
Oh, Outland. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the Con Am logo.
Dude, the Con Am logo. I don't know.
A Con Am logo hat.
I am too.
Like,
it's probably out there because
this is dumb, but
yeah,
cool.
they exist. You can order it from fucking Redbubble.
Well, there's a market for it.
Or you can get the like Federal Security Agency hat with the scrambled eggs on it that Sean Connery wore.
Hell yeah,
the Marshall
scrambled eggs.
I love it. Scrambled eggs. The little like the wreath, the gold wreath, with the oak leaves.
Yeah.
They're called scrambled eggs.
Kev, it's called scrambled eggs. Okay.
They are known as scrambled eggs. That's not what they're
Indeed.
called, but that's what they're known as. It's the military lingo, the slang, if you will.
Oh, I see. Are they oak leaves or something? Yeah, I think they are. I like it.
Kind of.
You're a scrambled egg. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like we're cul-de-sacking out about the I don't know. I guess like design aesthetic and
iconography.
Yeah, as with Alien or some of our other beloved dirty space movies.
Properties.
Like, fuck me, was it good?
Yeah, it was. Fantastic.
Oh, hell yeah. I don't know. Like, we watched that recent Alien movie. Like, the really recent Alien movie.
Yeah.
And there was just something about the mining colony there where, like, the lead actor...
God,
she goes to the fucking office and she's like, I've done my time. It's time for me to get out of here. And they're like, quota's changed. And it was just so like, fucking, who gives a fuck? And I feel like this was just like, I don't know. For some reason, I just vibed with the idea here where it's just like, there's a lot of exposition in the first couple minutes with all the screen, like, but it's like, you come and do your stint.
Have that fucking hat.
You come and go. You do your thing. It sucks. You work your fucking dick off. New guy shows up and it's just like all these people that just like work hard, play hard. And then there's this like, you don't really know what's going on in the beginning. You're like, actually, is this an alien fucking virus that's causing these people to die or go crazy or like, what the fuck? And then it's like, oh no, okay. It's like amphetamines. And it was just kind of like an interesting,
it was great
approach that was a lot more, I don't know, maybe not realistic, but like
user friendly.
I bought it more than the whole like, computer says no bullshit on that new Alien movie.
Computer says no. Oh, you mean like not letting the girl leave? Like that thing? Yeah. Okay.
I don't know why I'm hung up on that. But like, I just didn't give a fuck about that. I was like, okay, cool. Like, oh, your life is ruined now. Oh no. Now you need to get off planet. Fucking boo fucking who. Whereas this is just like a bunch of people doing their work and it sucks and it's hard. And it was just much more, I don't know, real, I guess.
Well, I think soulful is really probably a better word, maybe. There's, I think part of the thing that was missing from Romulus was that, because that's what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, if they're not selling it well enough, you're not feeling it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean by the soul. You know what I mean? So it's like you get to that part and you're like, I just don't care. And you should care.
Yeah.
Follow me?
I do. And I think part of it too is that maybe because I watched the Halo show recently, season 1, and it was whatever. And similarly, there's a character that's on a mining colony, and she's a younger girl, and her dad's like the fucking rebel leader and shit. And she's like, "Fuck you, Dad! I'm gonna go out and do space mushrooms." And then like the Covenant comes and fucking murders her entire friend group, which is quite funny. But
sweet,
it's the same thing where it's just like, and actually it was handled here too. So I'm all over the fucking place today, so please forgive me. But like, I kind of like that.
Chad. Just keep rambling.
Connery's kid and him never seeing Earth was justification for his wife being like, I can't handle this anymore. And like, it's a side piece. It's not the piece, you know, like it makes sense. It makes sense that it kind of it's a hard life out there. But I like that Connery's kind of like salty and his caricature is strong enough to stick it out and do what seems to be the right thing. And then I think it's like cherry on top when he's having the conversation at the end with Lazarus, where he's like, everyone says I'm a piece of shit, and I actually am just doing this to find out if I am. And I really resonated with the maybe like truth of that.
You used to be a piece of shit thing. Yeah.
Well, I'm still a piece of shit, but like, I don't know. I think the it's not the like hero thing. You know, it's not a hero complex of like, I'm going to do the right thing. I'm a fucking paladin from, you know, the Dungeons and Dragons movie that walks over the rock, and it's fucking hilarious. Like, he's just like, I don't know if I am a piece of shit. Let's find out. You know, and I really liked that. I don't know. It's just much more real.
Dude, the way it all came together. No, you're right. And the way it all came together with the doctor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that you're expounding my point, Chad. So what I was saying about Romulus, you know, as good as those actors were, it was the backdrop that carried that movie more than anything, right? Yeah. The aesthetic of that film more than anything, I think. And in this movie, the backdrop is great, and all of that stuff fleshes out what's the core thing that's great, which is the connections between the characters and the excellent acting from some top-notch performers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then that, like, the undertone of it being a frontier where, you know, people are not. I kind of like the idea of, like, you're not there because you're a rocket scientist. You're there because you're a fuck up. It's just a bunch of fuck ups. I like that. It seems a lot. Yeah. I don't know.
I agree. You're right. That thing you said about the end, you're exactly right. And the way that the doctor kind of, her role just completely changes at the end, like, is awesome. And how she starts helping him. And then that exchange they have where he's basically saying, like, you know, sorry, dude. I gotta throw this little cul-de-sac in. There's a Netflix show called I Think You Should Leave with this guy, Tim Robinson, that I find very funny. Bagus and Funk Bagus and I have been watching it. And there's a sketch.
I know this show.
Okay, so you may know the sketch. There's a sketch about him being a piece of shit. It's the weirdest thing. It's so weird. That's why I'm laughing. So anyway, no, it's really funny, man. You know, because the whole thing's about like, hey, I used to be a piece of shit. I think the baby knows that. It's so fucked up. Anyway, I think your baby knows that I used to be a piece of shit. The mom's like, yeah, pretty sure that's not the case. Anyway, that whole thing where they're having the, you know, am I a piece of shit? At the end, you know, it was great, and it added a different twist on it because it wasn't like a level 34 paladin coming in to save the, you know, it wasn't like that at all. It was like, here's this guy, and he's kind of, and I think they could have even leaned into that a little bit more. And like, if I was thinking about this
Connery.
What?
With Connery, they could have leaned into it more.
I'm getting there. Hang on. Just bear with me. Sorry. I'm as rambly as you are tonight.
This is my moment.
Yes. So I think, and Mr. Connery, jump in here anytime if you concur or not. If I was I'll even go so far to say I'm talking about the relationship between Connery and the wife and the kid.
Yeah. Okay.
And if I'll be so bold because I was thinking about this while I was watching it today. If I was doing a remake of this movie, there's not a whole lot I would change. I would change 3 things. One of them would be leaning harder into the part about his wife leaving, because what you're talking about, what you brought up, is the real gem, the real meat of this movie, right? Like, we have all this cool stuff, sci-fi, all this shit, the technology, the aliens looking, whatever. But the cool stuff, again, it always comes back to characters, interactions with characters, and how the audience and the people watching it are connecting with that, right? And we do connect with that. And that end bit is a total left hook because you don't see that coming. And then all of a sudden he's talking about being a piece of shit. You know what I mean? And I would lean even harder into that. Like, not make it a major thing, no stupid love scenes, none of that. I would make it even more tragic and show the pain of the man having come here. We've only been here 2 weeks. That's what he says. And then it's all of a sudden his wife's like, I gotta go. I gotta take the kid. I couldn't even do this in front of you. You know what I mean? Like, that's some heavy shit, dude.
Yeah, it's wild.
Heavy.
Not to mention the 1 year put to sleep that you find out about, which is kind of like a whole other level of.
I know, right? Which I didn't get that. Yeah, right. Exactly. I didn't know that till later on in the movie. Like, nobody does. So I would lean into that even harder. You know what I mean? Now, yeah. I'll quickly mention the other 2 things that I think this needed, and then we can move on, or you can rebut or respond, whatever. Here's what I think was needed here was he needed to be wearing a pair of some sort of combat boots. The sneakers weren't cutting it for me.
Okay.
Because his uniform is great. Okay, I know that sounds weird. That's a gripe of Kev. Maybe it's just a little gripe of Kev. The other one is I wanted to see, like, that nothing didn't have to be crazy. I just wanted to see like a M41 version of a shotgun, right? So the alien pulse rifle in like shotgun form. So here's what I came up with in my head. Because standard shotgun, dress it up a little bit, but it has 3 barrels. One for slugs, one for spray, and one for grenade. Those M30 grenades.
I mean, I'm in. I'm always down for space guns.
And that was the only other thing I wanted to see in this movie, because I thought the shotguns were a little like, I was like, okay, it's just a shotgun. Like, I need a space shotgun. It's a space movie. I need a space shotgun. That's it. I'll shut up.
That's reasonable. I kind of like that it's like they sent the fuckheads out to fuckhead town to mine unobtainium with shitty shotguns, but I'm with you, kind of. Yeah.
Some kind of space shotgun.
Somebody wants to.
Go ahead, Ben. I want to hear what you have to say.
It was a little
low rent.
It wasn't as bad as seeing like a legit Kalashnikov in Andor. Like just
or
just
right,
a fucking Kalashnikov. With like a scope or something.
Totally. Or the pipe gun from Star Trek V. Yeah,
as a blaster. No, that's worse. Because like at least the pipe gun was as awful as it was. It was
original,
like, not recognizable.
Yeah,
and just having like a fucking sawed off Remington 12 gauge shotgun essentially. If that's what it was, I don't know, but I'm just throwing that out there because Remington makes shotguns.
Sure.
What it looks like,
go-to shotgun brand. Sure.
Yeah, it's just like pretty generic 12 gauge fucking pump shotgun sawed off with no stock. Like it's not very sci-fi.
No, it's not.
I mean, you could like do something like I'd even probably accept a removal of the wooden stock to be replaced by a grimy white plastic stock that's the same shape, or just some little thing might have been enough. Like, I'm with you, Kev, that something cool would be cooler, but
even if they took the existing one and just dressed it up a little bit,
yeah,
a little bit.
They could have used like a Spas or something, like those Italian like automatic shotguns that are like I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or whatever, but like they're pretty like futuristic looking,
Definitely.
They've been around since the 80s, so it wasn't like they didn't exist then. But even that would have looked a little more. I think they were just trying to like use something that was vaguely Western,
Yeah,
sure.
Well, just the effort they went into with everything else, it kind of must have been a very
kind of
intentional
where
thing.
I got. That's kind of how I got there.
Yeah,
Was because I was like, there's so much detail in all of these sets, dude. Like the cage beds and the stairwells,
goddamn blinds,
the greenhouse
for the cage beds.
section, you know, the tunnels, man, the doors, like the tech. I mean, Dr. Bleep Bloop, dude, and the freaking all the technology. Like, God, it was freaking great.
Yeah, you're onto something there. And you wanted a Vibram sole on the shoe.
No, I don't need a Vibram sole. Just I'm like
steel toe, Vibram sole.
It would be
I was like
practical.
I know, but dude,
Sneaks you'd totally wear sneaks, dude. You'd rock Keds around that fucking place.
I don't know, man. I don't agree.
You would either have Velcro or like slip-ons.
Yeah,
totally. I'm with you, Chad.
But for the peace, the
peacekeeper. But yeah, you would. It's a non-militarized. Do what you're fucking told by the corporation force with their little dinky shotguns. Like I don't know.
All
They're
the more
fucking
reason.
Paul Blart Rent-A-Cops, dude.
I don't see it that way, dude. I think these guys.
It's also on a planet with like 1/6 Earth gravity. So
that's true.
You know, like there's just. I feel like in space, convenience is key.
Yeah,
like if you're in like low gravity, you don't want to be like you know how hard it is to like pull a pair of like good boots on, you know?
Yes.
You'd be upside down.
If they're good boots and they're worth wearing, like it's kind of a fucking like an effort to get your foot in there.
I got said pair of boots that I am so happy with.
Have you guys ever done side zip boots, dude?
That is what I'm referring to. My current boots.
My work boots. One of my work buddies back in the day was like here in Oz was like with the side zip boots, and they kept them laced up all the time, and it's like fucking game changer, bro.
It is a total game changer. So when I was studying Aikido in Nantucket with Mark McDougall, I was always like, Mark, what's up with those boots, dude? And he was like, oh, you know, these are like, you know, boots for like emergency services. You know, you see the cops wear them. He's like military sometimes too. I was like, really? And I was like, where do you get those? And he told me, and I got a pair, and I've never gone back. And so I was wearing Bates boots for a long time. I've had like probably 3 or 4 pairs of them. And this time I found there's a company highly rated, killer price, $54. It's an 8-inch boot. It's a side zip, and they're waterproof. And they are literally the most comfortable boots I've ever worn. They're so great. I love them. And yes, they're hard to get on, Ben.
Kathy Bates boots, like Kathy Bates' family.
Yeah, Kathy Bates makes the boots in her basement, dude.
I feel like I'm going to give this to you because, like...
I was wondering maybe if they were Trooper Bates boots.
There you go. I like that. Nice. Ooh, that's a deep cut. Nice.
The deep Nantucket cut.
Deep Nantucket cut. Kev, if you're out there, you're famous now to 600 people.
I think, you know, like... To jump on that pony for a minute. This is a Western. There's no motorcycles. To jump on that pony for a second.
Nice. I like that.
I think a canvas, high top, light duty Vibram sole kind of shoe would be the shoe. It's not a boot. And maybe it's not a sneaker. Like, okay, fine. Like, I'll give you a
some kind of canvas hybrid, like what Ripley was wearing. That's kind of a sneakery boot, you know, like the ones that they did that special edition of Benny shoes, that we saw.
They're very basketball-y, dude. Space basketball.
Okay.
From memory.
Yeah.
I love how we're nerding out about the shoes.
Well, here's the thing, right? Because like you need to be able to get out of you need to be able to get into a space suit.
That's true.
Quickly.
In an emergency,
so
very much so.
Even like a zipper, like a side zipper boot is going to be a little
be tricky.
Dude, those are hard to pull on, even with the side zipper, because you have them laced so they're comfortable when you zip it up, man.
Yeah. So you want something that you can just fucking throw on or fucking kick off real quick if you need to get into a spacesuit. That's my opinion.
Agree.
Right. Space has different rules than like
yeah.
If your spacesuit has like Ked style soles, then like you're in trouble, you know. But the shit that you wear like inside, it's like what would you wear like in your house, right? Like not what would you wear like on the
Slippers.
battlefield.
So I'm not a
slippers in the
fan.
house.
I'm not a fan of the collapsed heel. Like a person puts the shoe on in such a way that the heel folds in. But in an emergency, the ability to do that, is that a thing? Would that be the level of?
I've never tried those. Are those for real? Do they
What?
work? Are they
Where the heel folds in? What are you talking
it's not.
about? What?
I mean, they're like a KED. I'm loving this segment. Like a KED or something.
So do I. Go.
Where you're supposed to have the heel wrap around like a normal shoe, but the heel material is so flimsy that you could theoretically like slide your foot in and step on the heel because you're, getting chased by a space tiger with a scope on its head and you need to move quickly. Mm-hmm. The heel collapses under your foot and it's kind of like a slipper at that stage, but just because you're in a fucking rush. Like, is that the level of speed we're talking about here?
Wow.
Or are we talking about like space Crocs, dude? Because like space Crocs are,
No.
Okay, so I don't know if this company still exists or not, but I remember like for a while, and I wasn't the only person that was being sold this stuff with, targeted advertising, but there was a company that like it had like a collapsing heel, like you could stuff your foot into it, but like when you got your foot all the way into it, it would like poof, pop back up.
I mean, that's a futuristic technology right there. Like it's like a space technology.
Yeah, it was a thing where it was like a shoe that you could just like literally like stick your foot in and it would go in proper.
No, that's
not
it.
like just collapse the.
I feel like we're talking
because you're in a hurry going out the
here,
door.
dude.
Yeah,
you slide your foot into your space KED and then like nanobots reconstruct the heel behind you and you can get away from that space tiger.
Well, I mean, there's nobody's saying that the shoe technology can't be higher than.
Right,
the gun technology.
I like that. I like that. It's like a pump, dude. Like, what the fuck?
Maybe shoes are ever evolving and guns just have like an endpoint of like, usefulness. Like,
this
is fine.
Sure,
this works. It's good.
I want to take a moment to have a gripe of Kev. Where why the fuck don't pump like swings like crazy shit? Why aren't we doing crazy shit with shoes anymore? Like, I feel like there's something missing.
Are you talking about are we having a moment within the show?
I think we are. I am. You don't have to.
I love it. I'm on board, dude. I'm here for it. Go ahead.
I'm here saying that apparently they are doing
okay with that
shoes.
Flip up heel thing. I need to like know what that is.
I think the problem with shoes is that they're not just functional, they're fashionable. So people like their, they like their brands, they like their various styles, I mean, whether it's Nike or fucking, Converse or Puma or Timberland or whatever the fuck it is, like, it's less about innovation and more about like, just give me the thing that looks that way.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. I mean,
it's also about innovation. I feel like, shoes for basketball or various sports are always sort of evolving. Hiking shoes are always evolving. Even, like there's like those like, I forget what the brand is, but they have like these giant, ridiculous soles. And they're supposed to be very good for your feet, but I don't know. Anyways,
what are the Kramer?
I don't know where I'm going.
Sure, this is a cat. What were those Kramer shoes? The ones that like fuck with your calves. Remember, you had those that only had the fronts.
No, those are the vertical leap.
Yeah, the vertical
shoes.
leap shoes.
They had those giant they were like little platforms that like made the shoe sat on top of the platform and the platform attached at the toe, and the whole thing was designed to isolate the muscle.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm quoting from Seinfeld directly. I see what you're saying.
Advertisements for like barefoot shoes too.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I have a friend. We have a friend. He's a listener of the show, Bill, and he was telling me about those, and he said as soon as he got into some barefoot type shoes, he said his back problems disappeared.
No shit.
Yeah. So there's always that. Okay. So I get what a collapsible heel shoe is now. Okay. Wow. This is
Hoka shoes. That's what I'm talking about. They have like these weird, ridiculous, like
Hoka?
Crazy giant souls. Yeah.
HOKA.
I don't know if
I'm
that's
so
how it's
into
pronounced.
this.
Yeah, HOKA.
I'm so
Okay,
into
wait.
this.
He's already.
Oh yeah. I've seen those.
Oh, they do make the vertical
You know what
leap
I'm saying?
training shoes. Wow. Okay. Hoka shoes. Let me try to find that.
But Hoka's
'Cause this
not the flip up heel one. You don't know what the flip up heel ones were?
No,
No, these are just like they have like all their shoes have these like mega soles. Like
the Hokas.
yeah.
Oh, that is a pretty chunky sole.
Like yeah, I don't know what the tech is supposed to be, but
I don't know.
they all seem to have these like giant soles.
I feel like buying a pair of Kramer's vertical leap or George's vertical leap training shoes and having them like on a bookshelf would be really cool. Like random
I
thing
want
to
that.
have.
What I want
I'm
though
gonna do
is
that.
I want the pair that looks like the ones from Seinfeld. These are not.
Yeah, they're
This
not.
is the design is exactly the same, but those were like a plain white shoe.
They were white on white.
Here you go. R. Seinfeld. These are Jimmy's training shoes. Yeah,
Yeah, with a little
they're
black,
totally all white.
little black line.
Little black line, exactly. The guy that took the bread out of Jimmy's mouth. This is a very deep nerd out. But
I
hey,
love
you know
it.
what? I mean, here's what I'm going to say in our defense. When we started the show, on the landing page, it clearly says, as we talk about sci-fi throwbacks and nerd the hell out. It's right there in print, dude.
It's official.
Okay, so we said it.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. And then
Yeah.
shotgun, shoes, and what was the first thing?
I was on about the tactical boots, but
Yeah, the boots, and then the shotgun, and what was the first thing?
it was something else.
Leaning into.
It was leaning into the relationship between the wife.
Maybe to pull us back out of this, if that's all right. Like,
Yeah, go for it.
I am glad they didn't do the get fucking drunk breakup trope. Like, I'm kind of glad that they didn't do the he falls apart bit, you know?
Thank God, yes.
So, like,
It was dark.
Yeah. It's delicate. And no, it's just that's
I think it was more realistic, actually, because that's kind of what happens, man. You know, you kind of go dark, dude, and men tend to internalize shit, and like that's pretty damn accurate, dude.
I really enjoyed that scene where his second in command comes in. He's like, didn't know what you like to eat, so I got you everything. He's like, my wife left me. This is all about me. Hookers are good too. He's just like, bro, fuck off, man.
Super casual. The hookers here are really nice. That's what he says. I was like, okay, I like how this is rolling. I got to be honest with you, 100% honest. When he listens to the message, the video message, and she's like, I'm leaving you. And then he kind of sits down in the dark and like they hang on it for like a minute and then it cuts to the next scene. The only thing in my head was, I can't even do this, man. My wife left me. Time for some masturbation.
What?
I wonder.
Come on, Benny.
What kind of porn I can get on.
Dude, that reminds me. I was looking at like a Reddit thread the other day, and it was like legendary tweets or whatever. And there was a tweet by Dean Norris.
Reddit hatred.
Yeah, no, there was a tweet by Dean Norris that just said like sexy gifs or something. So he was searching for porn but didn't realize he was tweeting. And I feel like that fits perfectly here, you know? A poor bastard, you know? He would have gotten fucking roasted.
I mean, if you think about it, it was pretty perfect because like he sees the message and he's like absorbing it. Like it's an intense moment, dude. And they do such a great job.
It's like that moment when your wife isn't around. So you're like, I'm definitely gonna beat one out here.
Yeah, I guess there's only one thing left to do.
Let's do it.
No. I'm saying that like when you see her delivering the message And then you've got him absorbing the message and like everything. And this is one thing I really liked about the aesthetic of this movie is how everything was very dark, right? All like the corridors were dark and the halls were dark and everything was dark. And it really served the movie well. But it's like, and then he just like, he sits down in this like semi-dark room and it was like silent. And I was like, well, she's gone now. Time for some masturbation.
I feel like there's something with like
it's time to rub one out.
Yeah,
that terrible, the terrible computer. The like when he's got the clickety clackety and he's like eyes only. Fucking look this up, look that up. I figure it would be like eyes only, talk dirty to me. You know, like the computer just writes him back messages and shit.
Oh boy, that would have been funny.
I wonder if I can find some sultry pictures of Dr. Lazarus.
Right,
Dr. Lazarus. Do you fancy a shag?
A tiger in a shack.
a tiger with a scope.
I bet she's a tiger with a scope in the sack.
Oh my god!
God damn, dude! That woman went on to be Cliff's mom on Cheers.
I love
that's
that.
That's what John Ratzenberger did after this, and she went, or no, rather, he was in Cheers. She went after this movie got cast as his mom in Cheers, which is so weird because they're both in this movie.
I love it,
and I don't think she's that much older than him.
Can I take a death here just because, like, where the fuck was John Ratzenberger? Who was he? I knew he was in it, but
Tarlov.
Yeah, but like,
I think he was the guy.
Who was it?
I think he was the guy that was not the guy that was trying to choke him out.
He was one of the druggy dudes early on.
I'm not sure because when you watch these movies, like when you look at like the cast list on like Google or IMDb, sorry, Let's Make Nuggets Not Fun. They're showing you the current photo of the actor, not the actor in the movie. You know, so it's a little bit.
Well, that's the same with
clicking on his character. I've got he's one of the guys that was hunting him. There's a picture of him in a space suit with sparks
at
flying
the end. Okay,
like,
so he was.
Okay.
Oh, right.
So there
on.
you go.
He was one of those dudes.
Because the other dude was the dude from Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, which I thought was cool.
What?
Yeah,
really?
Hang on, I'm just looking it up. He was the baddie. He was
Vinnie Jones,
fucking Bill or whatever. No, not Bullet Tooth Tony.
Oh fucking snap!
Hang on, I'm blowing it here. Because he's got a fucked up eye. Like one of his eyes was like shines like an animal in the dark. You know, like those crazy. He was Hatchet Harry, P.H. Moriarty.
Hatchet Harry. Okay.
He's Hatchet Harry is the guy in Lock, Stock that's sits in the office all day, fucking talking about those.
Oh,
guns.
that guy. Yes, yeah, yes, that guy's very.
Okay, so he was one of the dudes that hunt. That's interesting. I didn't pick that up at all. He's one of the dudes that assembles his gun in the gang like a fucking idiot. Right on. I mean, I love me some Ratzenberger. So
totally, man.
This week on Crumpet Bros,
we talking about crumpets and John Ratzenberger.
I almost bought some crumpets the other day in honor of you, and then I just was like, yeah, they're gross, and didn't.
Nice.
Scones, are they crumpets? Not even
dude,
close.
Scones are fucking like
in
this week's
analysis.
baked goods corner. Scones are dumb.
They are, dude. I don't get it.
Scones, and I don't understand biscotti, really.
Oh, dude, biscotti can go fuck itself.
The biscotti slightly, but the scones, it's like halfway between a cookie and a biscotti, and it's just like a crumbly,
fucking
dry.
Scones are like you fucked up the biscuits, motherfucker. Give me some biscuits.
Yeah, it's like a biscuit, but it's got stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
In it, and it's
you fucked up my biscuit.
Yeah,
that's what
it's got stuff in it, and it just kind of like falls apart. It's dry. It's like who the fuck thought this was a good idea?
I'm officially renaming Scones to "You fucked up my biscuits," and I'm going to say that over here now, and people are going to be like, "What?" And I'm going to be like, "Fuck you."
I mean,
do it.
Try and put sausage gravy on a scone.
That's what I'm saying.
That is not happening, dude.
I like it. We've had a baked goods corner every week for like the last month.
Yeah, man.
After we talk about shoes for half an hour.
That's why it's called. That's why we renamed the show Crumpet Bros.
Crumpet Bros. This week on Crumpet Bros, we talk about shoe fashion.
In space.
Shoes, are they baked goods?
Are they? Stay tuned for our in-depth analysis.
The answer is more surprising than you might expect.
Ooh, I love that. Very nice.
That's very clickbait. I don't know. Something about the cul-de-sac where we ended up talking about the speed with which you need to emergency exit a failing facility and having the kind of idea of a space croc. I don't know. There's something about that I'm into.
I'm not into like I mean, I like the idea of like
I hate crocs.
Some kind of.
But space croc just sounds cool.
We hate crocs, but they are pretty space age.
They are kind of. They kind of are. Yeah. They're very THX 1138 space
kind of
age.
Shitty extruded composite shoe that's just like
massive. Man, are they big over there? They are fucking huge over here. All the kids, every fucking
big.
kid wears them.
Both my kids rock a pair.
They've had a huge resurgence, and you get these stupid fucking giblets or fucking ding dongs that you stick in the fucking holes.
Oh god, so
charms.
Yeah, but they're called like fucking chibbly gibbets or something.
That's because it's Australia. It's got to be a weird word.
Gibbets? Gibbets. Jibbitz.
It sounds weird in Australia. They're called charms here.
You're a fucking charm. You're a lucky charm.
Dude, you're a givet or a givet or whatever the hell it is.
Gibbets. Yeah, they're called gibbets. Tonight at the Gibbet Center, Sneaker Con.
I'm surprised it's not something weirder like a Wally Gibbet.
A Wally
Hey, you got your Wally Gibbets all over your Crocs, mate.
So anyways, that's Crocs Corner.
Yeah, it's all about the farting.
It's all about the farts. I don't think I'm not into Crocs either, but I really feel strongly that like a space slipper of some kind, like yes, Croc, no. Ironically enough, we did Idiocracy a while ago, but after that, I'm pretty sure it was after that.
Yes,
so funny.
It's a picture of Jason Voorhees falling in love with a Croc.
I know we've talked about this before,
I don't think we have talked about this before, but
I still love it.
This is for the recording where Kev makes a marker so that we add this as show art because we always forget to add this as show art. So I'm saying this really long-winded thing so that it either stays in the show because you skip over it and it's funny, or you actually put a marker in.
Okay. Should I finish the whole thing about the Crocs?
On searching for that, I've found that Crocs has released Jason Voorhees,
a dish,
Freddy Krueger, and Pennywise the Clown Crocs.
I would totally buy.
What is it?
I would consider it for those.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, which is dumb.
Well, I mean, you don't need to. All you need to do is wear a white pair, and they're Jason Voorhees.
The OG one is it's like a real picture of Jason Voorhees, like with like the Croc superimposed in his hand, and he's got a word bubble coming out of his.
I love it. Yeah,
mouth. That's just like I love this
because I feel like the right way to do this would be an all white Croc with just that little red marking on the top, and maybe a little one on the side.
Yeah, the eye holes.
Well, just make two of the holes larger.
I mean, maybe you do.
No. You make them with two of the holes because Crocs are pockmarked with holes. So you make two of the holes like large enough for larger.
Apparently, that's also a thing because I can see those as well. But I don't care. I don't actually want them. I just like the meme. I think the meme is fucking hilarious.
They're a very common. They're a very common long distance hiker camp shoe because they're so light. You just like carabiner them onto the back of your bag, and then when you get to camp, you swap into some comfy, squishy shoes.
Absolutely. There's a whole store on Etsy that has like every custom Jason Voorhees thing you can possibly imagine. And I just found it, and it's there's a pair of Crocs somebody custom made in here somewhere. Of course, when I clicked on the image, it didn't go right to that. It went to something else, which is annoying.
Of course. Just as a Croc public service announcement, in case you weren't aware, you need to size down.
I was trying to throw some more Crocs knowledge at you guys.
If you want to get a pair of Crocs, you need to buy the Crocs that are one size down from the Croc, from your shoe size.
Okay.
That is the Croc tip of the day.
Croc tip master.
Croc.
If I can finish my Crocs nugget, it's that in Idiocracy, you know, oddly enough, those were used because they looked futuristic.
Okay, I'm not even listening because Ben keeps sending memes. Can you say that for a third time for the audience? Our poor audience has heard you say the thing twice now, but I haven't, and so they're gonna have to hear it again.
Oh God! All right, it's kind of losing its luster, but
I can't wait to be completely unimpressed. Let's hear it.
Just shut the fuck up, then. All right, so they use Crocs in Idiocracy because they looked sort of like futuristic. Right.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. It makes sense.
To your
They're
point,
really
like,
dumb.
you know, like a Croc, like they kind of look futuristic, and they do. But the funny part of it was when Mike Judge was telling the story, was that he said to the production designer, whoever, or not production designer, the costuming person, he was like, you know, find me something, you know, it's like kind of futuristic but dumb. And it was before Crocs blew up. And she was like,
I think we talked.
She showed up with those, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, those things are so fucking ugly. Nobody's ever gonna buy those."
They are.
They are. But look what happened. Everybody started buying them like crazy.
I remember seeing one time, and we might have talked about it before, but I remember seeing one time. It was another Reddit thread of like what weird fashion shit happened in high school, and this dude wrote, he's like, one of the popular kids in school decided to wear a yellow fucking fisherman's rain jacket as a joke. And he was so popular that wearing fisherman's rain jackets became a thing in the school. And like the dude was like, I think that's really fucking awesome. You know, like I just love that idea.
Cool. Yeah, that is cool.
Know.
Well, it's that, and also just like what actually, I mean, the fact that Crocs caught on
is crazy.
Is like mind blowing,
and that they've come back.
It's like they've never really gone away. They've just like they
kind of undulate,
blossomed and gone back a little bit, and then blossomed again. You know, but like it just like that's a perfect example of like
you never know.
The thing that everybody likes isn't always really that cool.
That's true.
No,
that's
you're
definitely
right.
The case.
It's totally true. It's totally true.
It's just the some of the dumbest shit comes to the top sometimes.
No doubt
and
about
that's
it.
Okay,
man.
you know, it's okay for the dumb shit to come to the top sometimes.
I think Yeezy shoes are a great example. I think they're the weirdest fucking
dude.
thing
One
in
of the
world.
worst.
Oh my God!
One of the worst fashion items ever has made a massive comeback,
Crocs.
and I cannot wrap my head around it.
And that it's not politically or anything, you know. Like just
no, they're just stupid.
Like, you know,
what were you saying? What are the other things, Kevin?
Fanny packs. I remember fanny packs. I remember when they came out in the 80s. I remember when they became unbelievably uncool, and then they disappeared for like 20 years, and then all of a sudden now I see every Tom, Dick, and Harry with one.
Everyone's
kids
got one,
and adults.
I thought all the adults would be like Bart Simpson fanny pack with my Bart Simpson hat when I was fucking 10. It was great.
Damn, cool.
I think I had a Vision fanny pack.
Ooh,
that
nice.
was like
I like that. Yeah.
Like
skateboards.
It was plaid, but it was like a funky colored plaid.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the funky color was. It was like, but it was like weird. It was like, you know, purple and like green and yellow or something. You know, it wasn't like a normal kind of plaid color scheme.
Yeah.
I feel like a fanny pack fell so quickly from fashion that like I have like a visceral aversion to it. I'm just like, ugh. To the idea of someone wearing one.
That's how I feel. And I thought, like, when I started seeing them come back, I was like, well, I saw like people our age wearing them, and I was like, wait, there must be some sort of mistake here, because all those people know how utterly uncool those are.
Exactly.
But I guess they didn't get that memo.
They were like closeted fanny pack lovers, and they finally can justify it. Or they were just like, fuck it.
Or
Val Kilmer bolo tie.
Why exactly is it called a fanny pack?
Because you used to wear it. It technically
bum bag
was worn. The proper way to wear it was like around with the bag part of it right over the top of your butt.
I just remember, and I'm going to bring Louise Murphy into this.
Okay, let's do it.
That she always was like incensed and
because of the UK
used by the fact that, you know, we had a thing called a fanny pack, and like a fanny
is the other side
UK in Ireland is a vagina,
is lady parts.
yeah.
Oh,
no, that's
I didn't
it's
realize
fucking
that.
hilarious.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah,
It's
the
fucking
vagina
hilarious.
bag was worn over the top of your butt.
And why the fuck is it called a fanny pack?
I don't know, Luis. I don't know. But it's funny.
I don't know. Yeah. Damn, dude.
Everything is dumb in America.
There's no fucking doubt about that.
Din Djarin Mandalorian full armor on Etsy.
Wait, are you saying
Custom made.
Are you wait? Are you saying that if you
got
had
you.
some Beskar, you'd have that Viking chick make you a Beskar fanny pack? Is that what you're saying? Fuck a pauldron, dude. What would you like to make? I was thinking about a fanny pack.
A fanny pack is always good for a pauldron.
Dude, I
It's either that or you put the mythosaur on the fanny
that a
pack.
Mandalorian-esque armored fanny pack be part of someone's cosplay. I think that's
Oh
fucking
my
amazing.
god! No, that's an item we need to make along with the six demon
With
bag.
the 6 demon bag.
and every other item. Put that on your little. I know you got a little
Hang on,
list
yeah,
over
too.
there.
I haven't
put it on
taken
there.
any notes in a long time, but I can do that.
Beskar armored fanny pack with some kind of signet on it. The signet of the Twinkie, I think, is probably appropriate.
That's fair.
A Twinkie is always good for a pauldron.
Was that the
you imagine that?
Brandalorian?
Can you? Yeah, that was the same episode. Can you imagine if like dude was like during the course of that show, like dude turned around and there was a picture of Twinkie the kid on the pauldron?
Hell yeah, dude.
Holy shit, that'd be great.
All right. So we talk about this movie anymore?
We've talked a lot about this movie actually.
Okay.
Kind of.
I'm not changing the show format. Okay.
No.
Nerd the hell out is right in the description
It's right in the middle.
on the landing
Yeah.
page, and I'm sticking to it, bro.
No, I think this is really business as usual.
It really is.
Thank you.
I
really
love how
is.
Kev's like, if we were to remake this, I would change the shoes. And we're like, hang on. Let's talk shoes.
1 hour later.
Let's talk about shoes for
Right.
an hour.
Exactly.
Okay.
Mostly Outland, but mostly Crocs.
Outland.
Mostly Crocs. And scones.
Raspberry scones.
And the Can-Am Riker.
And the Can-Am Riker. I like that.
Dude, Peter Boyle was interesting here. He was such an interesting, corrupt schlub. I enjoyed how schlubby he seemed. Maybe it was the wings of hair across his hat or something.
His little, like, they used, like, actual, like, technology of the day. Like the, like the shitty, like, virtual golf thing with, like, the, projector. And, like, you break out your club and you like whack the ball and it hits the screen and it's like, and then it keeps going.
I liked that. That was cool, man.
Virtually.
No, there were. I mean, on Nantucket, right? Like, rich douchebags had those things,
nice.
like in every other basement, basically.
Yeah, that's true.
Next to the golf course, they could just go play at.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Precisely.
They would like walk outside their fucking door and play. I love it.
That is
Space
correct.
I don't know. These kids and their video games. Wait, what? You have a virtual golf thing I can put in my basement?
Sign me the fuck up.
Exactly.
Take my money.
That golf thing was sick. I feel like the carpet moves a little to the left over here. I'm like, okay, mate. I enjoyed how like straight up Connery was, where he like walks in. He's like, yeah, I'm basically just gonna fucking bust you, dude. The guy's like, well, I'm gonna kill you. He's like, okay. Like there was no like intrigue to it, which I like. It was very on the frontier westerny.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
Yeah, right. You can try.
You're dead. Maybe we should talk about shoes more. I kind of don't want to talk about the movie anymore.
It's all right, man. We can just sort of wrap up the movie. It's time to wrap up anyway. Have cookies.
Any other bits or bobs? Did you watch those YouTube videos, the miniature videos?
I did. Those are excellent, man. I loved the guy. I was always a fan, even though I didn't watch a lot of it. Like I loved that Space 1999 show. Like I saw that like a little bit of that when I was a kid, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's one of those ones that missed me, but like I knew about it.
Yeah, same.
You know, like I saw the ships and stuff, like, and I was like,
yeah,
I was mystified by it. But
same.
As an adult, trying to like actually sit down and watch it, not so much.
Yeah, no, I think
it's not that it's bad. It's just
old
of a time, and like if you don't have real nostalgia for it, like
you're not going to get into it.
Yeah,
I agree.
I feel like you may not get into it.
Yeah, 100%. I think but I like that those two blokes worked on that show. So clearly they had knowledge. They were super nerdy, dude, and like they dialed it in.
Dude,
man.
they killed it.
They dialed in. Those miniatures were great, dude. The effects were so good. Like it was so impressive, man. In fact, the whole digital titling thing that came on in the beginning, it was like time it takes to get to the planet. 300 days, amount of fuel burned, and then I wanted them to add one at the end that said length of these opening graphics,
length of exposition.
1 hour.
Totally.
Like all that stuff was really, it was really cool, man. It was really well done. I thought the sets were fantastic, man. They had just enough outside shots to really kind of give you a sense of it. It was great.
It was a bit of a bummer with the miniature. I mean, I don't know. It kind of wasn't, but like these guys tell the story about making the moon base model, and it was like 25 feet long, and they had 4 months to do it, and they had just started their business, so they didn't know how to price it, and all this interesting storytelling. And it was like, and we delivered it, and then we got back a day later, and they just fucking spray painted it white because it didn't work. And it's like, oh, they like spent months fucking airbrushing the thing, and then they're like, we've already been paid, but it's kind of a bummer. It's like, oh, that's fucking rough, dude.
It is.
The base was cool. The ship, the like random ship that came in was cool too. They had to make that one also.
And it was a cool. Go ahead, Ben.
No, I was going to say bits and bobs wise, like just the big deal they made about like the shuttle landing.
Yes,
was really cool. Like
I agree.
Like people showed up to see shit like that. Like oh, that's got a scene where like a ship lands and it's really cool. You know? Like,
totally.
Like we like take that shit for granted now.
We do.
Like just the fact that they spent like a good, I don't know, almost 5 minutes of time, like just on that whole thing happening was,
it was what it was time well spent, because it came out, like it came across when you watched it. So like they made such a big deal of it, and like they incorporated that into the entire cluster of scenes around that. You know what I mean? And like when the ship actually lands, there's like they show that shot of the
cool lighting and shit.
It's like a fairly cool. It's like a large space. It has like an upper catwalk kind of level, and then you can see people down below, and it's dead silent, and it hangs on that silence for like a solid like 20 or 30 seconds, and it's like perfect. Like I was even like, whoa, very cool.
But on top of all that,
there's something.
Oh, go ahead.
Something cool about that like slow space, sort of like doing shots based on like the like Saturn missions or whatever, just that kind of like footage where like stuff is happening like in silence and slow and like
actual docking is fucking takes forever.
And
like it's not what you would consider exciting by today's standards, but back then it was sort of like a thing, and
definitely
and I miss it actually.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, and I actually thought you were going slightly different place with the talking about the ship, because like, yes, all of those things. And it's like really interesting how the whole fucking base is like pumped for the ship to come in. There's a countdown clock, because like you'd be just stuck on this fucking base, and when like the new shit comes in, man, like the new shipment of snacks or whatever the fuck, or whatever.
Sure, yeah. Yes, gummy bears again.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, dude.
Slim Jims, bro.
I'm gonna eat so many gummy bears, I shit myself.
Well, the other part of it is that you you've got like, and this is the sort of the deeper
Hostess fruit pies.
deeper part of the story.
I like how Benny's taking on the fuck with Kev's conversation thing. Like that used to be my thing.
Yeah,
Now it's
no,
Benny's
that's
thing.
good, man.
I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm sorry.
That's
dude.
all right. Don't be
I'm sorry,
dude. I'm usually the one doing it. So I think, no, I was just saying that, like, to take it another level deeper, like everybody there is waiting for their drugs.
Yeah.
Like and
for this guy that's getting in the way of their drugs to get his, yeah.
Right. We're learning through the course of the story that, like, essentially almost everybody on that station is hooked on those drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, dude freaks out. He almost kills the hooker. He dies. Like, all that. So, like, everybody's waiting for their fucking drugs. I mean, like, that's kind of messed up.
It's crazy.
Know? Like, the whole station. And when they list the stats at the beginning, you see how many people are there. It's like a couple thousand people there, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like there's like 300 people there.
Nah, it's a good chunk of people.
I do like that it's like at the same time like Reagan era like anti-drug stuff.
Yeah.
But also like pointing out the dystopia of like the Protestant work ethic and like people like trying to do whatever it is to like fuck each other over for the corporate overlords.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
It has a good resonance these days for sure. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then just on the ship thing again, like I think there's another layer too, where you've got, the slow docking, the coolness stuff that we talked about. Then you've got everyone's waiting for it to come in to get their drugs and stuff. And then you've got, it's a great mechanism for ratcheting tension in the story. Like instead of Connery walking around like Kevin from Home Alone setting up traps, like the fucking countdown, and you're kind of like, oh shit, all right, time's almost up. And then like even like with 60 hours left, he goes and gets drunk with his buddy, the doc, and it just it does so much.
It does. It really, really does. And it's like kind of subtle the way it all happens. So it's like you don't really, it's not like hitting you over the head with it. You know what I mean? And you get to the end and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. I kind of found that like the chasey shoot 'em uppy bullshit. I like randomly finding Thundercat swords while we talk.
Is that any different than the Jason Voorhees
kind of
Crocs?
not. No, I mean we were talking about Crocs, but I like it. I kind of.
It's dude. It's the Sword of Omens, for Christ's sake.
God damn it! It's only $129.99 or $13.06 a month for 12 months.
And it's not even full tang. Go ahead.
Speaking of space, fucking tang, bro.
You need one. Yeah, totally.
The shit at the end, man. Like, I just didn't give a fuck about the like. I liked the sneak around space stuff where he decompresses the guy in the hallway and stuff. Like, I didn't hate that at all. But like,
great.
That was where it was westerny and not spacey, And like, I was fine with it being a western, but.
No, I liked how he was using his like extensive knowledge, man, of like technology to like thwart these guys. It was sweet. I dug it. He was like decompressing that walkway, like all that stuff. Even the whole bit with the door,
Well, shit.
I want you to release the hydraulics on this door when I say so. You there, go through the vent.
But yeah, we'll just use this station as a weapon.
Exactly.
Dub is a weapon. All right. Any other bits and/or bobs?
Negative.
Yeah. I just want to give a shout out to Dr. Lazarus.
She was great.
She was great.
Again, yes, she was excellent.
And I liked the chemistry between her and Connery, and
it was great.
Their initial banter. They're like both like trying to throw up like a wall, versus each other,
which makes sense.
I mean, I was even going so far as to like when the movie opened, I was kind of, looking at it through a different lens, like I was like, all right, 80s sci-fi movie, this is going to be kind of cheap and whatever. And when she came into the picture, I was like, okay, here we go with the hilariously cantankerous doctor. And I wrote down a couple of her lines and I was like, all right, whatever, dude. And then, like by the end, I was like, she's amazing. Like she was great. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah, she was really good.
I almost wish they hadn't written her like that in the beginning, but I get why.
Well, it makes so much more sense.
The contrast had to be there. Yeah,
it's Tom Hanks and Sizemore in Saving Private Ryan in the church, where it was just like they're remembering people that have died, but they're also like, I don't want to know the new kid. Like the whole dynamic of this base, where you come and do a year and leave, like you're not. Why would you become friends with someone who's just going to go to the other side of the solar system in a year? You're just like, fuck you, man. So you would totally have that wall built up, and you wouldn't give a fuck about meeting the new guy. You just want the new guy to show up and shut the fuck up so you can go about your business. And like, I think she
it's kind of like it's kind of like changing apartments on Nantucket. Totally.
Exactly.
Right. You never unpack, and you're angry, and you have to leave in a year.
Precisely.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna shuttle us along here. Nuggets, deaths, ratings. I have 0 nuggets. I didn't really have a time to look.
There was nothing.
Chad, do you have any?
Nah. It was. I think the little making of miniature thing is the closest thing to a nugget I would care about. Like just learning a little bit about how they did it. Because man, it was.
Yes.
It was cool.
It was cool.
There were actually. I take that back. There were a couple of interesting nuggets. One was. This was clearly influenced by Alien, and the miniature guys actually said, because it was at Pinewood Studios, they actually took some shit out of the skip bin, the fucking dumpster, from Alien and other movies to make part of this movie. And then the interesting piece was that Cameron seems to have been influenced a bit by this. In the base in Aliens, which I thought was kind of cool, and it kind of makes sense.
I think that's very cool. That's a nice nod, tip of the hat to these guys.
You would totally just be like, I don't know. James Cameron seems like a very particular person, like a perfectionist, and I could see him seeing this and being like, yeah, nicely done, guys, with the the look and feel. So I dig that. And then there was another. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say it only feeds the sort of fan theory that this is actually part of the Alien universe.
I'm a fan of that fan theory.
I don't know. They just have a similar vibe, which I just really like. It's a different movie, obviously.
Definitely.
It's especially the first Alien being a similar slow burn, but for a different reason.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've even talked about maybe when we talked about the last Alien movie that we would be interested in the idea of a movie that takes place
more in the universe.
That
doesn't
have anything to do with the actual aliens and just has to do with people doing
the
world. That. Yeah,
it's like an Andor. This totally validates
like an Andor.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
this totally validates that idea. I would watch more of this any day.
Well, they should. They should at this point.
The Andor of Alien.
Yeah.
Well, because the conclusion we came to at Romulus was like, dude, how many more times can you tell the same story? You know what I mean? And it's like, so let's do something different. And this is that something different.
Well, and it's very different. Like this is a brother from another mother to Alien for sure. Like The Expanse was not the same by any stretch, and it wasn't as dirty, but it had some similarities in terms of like, I don't know, maybe like the shitty space station stuff and like just the universe that's not shiny space, but it's grimy space. Like the Andor version of Star Wars and this version of Alien. Like, I just love these universes, I guess. And Expanse didn't hit the mark by any stretch, but I could definitely do more of this. And that leads into the second Annie Nugget, which is Moon, which we did. Lifts some thinking from this, which I also kind of vibe with. I could totally see that.
Does, yeah. No, I dig that too.
More moon-based stuff. I got to get back into that. What was that fucking Apple space one? For All Mankind. I watched the first season. And I've heard that the second seasons onward have a lot of moon-based shit.
Worthy?
Huh?
Is it worthy?
It was actually really
It's worth it.
It's worth it. It was actually a really good show, man. Yeah. The first season was really good. We've talked about it a little bit before. The alternate history where the Russians beat us in the space race.
Despite my own misgivings, I have to say that Apple seems to have their shit together.
They're kind of taking that HBO mantle. Hey,
for TV, they do
on the right side for their shows.
Yes,
yeah,
and it seems like one of the reasons why they might be doing okay there is because they are not fucking putting their hands all over shit. They do tend to steer away from the risque stuff because of their fucking vanilla brand, but they do seem to be letting people make their own shit.
Yeah, I agree. I was just having a conversation with somebody about that the other day.
They're taking on Neuromancer, and
that's pretty heavy duty.
Yeah, you were saying.
I mean, I am
risky as fuck.
100% trepidatious about anybody doing that, but
sure,
if they have the right people, then I think they'll let them do it right. I was a little bullshit about the last season of Severance.
I haven't watched it, so no spoilers.
Oh, well, sorry.
That's
I won't say anything then.
But I think that like high level, they're hesitant to do risque stuff. Like they're not doing the tits and sandals Game of Thrones stuff. Like that kind of is against the idea that they'll do a good job of Neuromancer. But I really hope they do. I hope they just don't. I just so much prefer it when people don't put their thumb on the scale of like letting the artist do the art. Like just fucking stop meddling and just make the shit, dude.
Yeah.
Let people make shit. Agree.
Okay. No more nuggets. Awesome. Deaths. We don't have any. So that leaves us to recommendations.
There were a couple. I ejected a couple times. We can just leave it there.
Yeah. That's whatever. It's too late.
I don't care. Let's go.
I'm beyond caring and So
Yay. Watch it.
Yeah.
Yay. Watch it. Exactly.
I can't believe this. I never heard of this in my entire life. Like it's fucking solid, dude. It's like a rock
Kinda
solid
crazy
piece in the 80s, 90s, 70s, 80s, maybe sci-fi, amazing world space. Like fuck,
81.
Like it's just such a stellar example of sets.
Great science fiction movie making. Totally, man.
So yeah.
It's not an earth shattering story,
it's not aliens,
but it's fucking it's literally a remake of High Noon in space, and the world building is really cool.
And it's Sean fucking Connery.
Fantastic. Totally.
Yeah, it's great actors doing a great, not phoning it in at all.
Not even
great
close.
Job.
Yes.
Great sets and miniatures and great practical effects. Yeah, it's fucking good stuff.
It is.
Stoked that you brought this one to the table, man. It's a great choice.
As am I. Yes, excellent choice. All right, so folks, next week we're going to be tackling in light. We haven't even talked about this, but as most of you, I'm sure, already know, Val Kilmer passed away this week, and heavy hearts are had. Right. So we're kind of doing.
We weren't able to change this super quick, but.
Yeah, but we're going to do somewhat of a requiem and do a couple of Kilmer films in the next couple of weeks. Our schedule's a little bit liquid, so we're not exactly sure which one we're going to do, but stay tuned for something Val Kilmer next week, and I'll leave it at that.
Hell yeah.
Other than that,
R.I.P.
we
Mr.
love you
Kilmer.
Long time, and we'll see you on another time.
See ya.
Bye.
And that's going to wrap up this week's episode, folks. If you would like to check out the show notes for this episode, you can do so in your podcast app of choice or at our website, ebd.fm/episodes/ I can never get this thing up quick enough. What is it, Chad?
298, I believe. 1 second.
298. Whoa, we're that close to 300. How about that? If you would like to support the show, there's a number of great ways to do so. You can tell people to check out the show. You can spread it around on the internet. You can put notes in passenger pigeons. You can rate us and review us. Yeah, it would be cool, actually. You can throw flyers out of your window as you drive down the road. Also very effective. Guerrilla-style marketing.
Mike Tyson will have to bring them to us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But those are all great ways you can help us support, help us spread the word of the show and support the show. We really appreciate everything everybody's done. Hence. So, That's it. If you want to join us on social media, you can find us on Instagram at EBD Podcast, and that's it. We would thank you for joining us for Outland. We'll see you next week for a yet unnamed Val Kilmer film. So long for now, folks.
Everybody dies.
Beady, beady, beady. Stop into it.